Hello, my name is Laurie Anawa. I've been a life on purpose coach since 2003, and I'm also the author of Just Believe How Faith in Yourself Shifts Everything. Welcome to Messages for Creating More of Your Version of Awesome for Living Your Most Fulfilling Life. Welcome to this week's topic, how to free yourself when you are feeling stuck. Have you ever wanted to move forward with a heartfelt desire or a project or a goal, but you just can't seem to make the progress that you want? Have you ever felt stuck? Well, in this week's video training, we're going to look at what creates that experience and what you can do about it to easily move forward in the way you truly desire. You'll also learn how to recognize and free yourself from some of the most common excuses, myths, assumptions, etc. that actually create being stuck. So it's all about lining up with your version of awesome, what you really want to create in life. You know, I have worked with thousands of people throughout my career, first as a business leader for large companies for over 20 years, and then as a life on purpose coach since 2003. So I've had in-depth experience and knowledge about creating progress that you really want and why we can sometimes feel stuck. But when you know how to distinguish the cause, you're well on your way to creating a solution that works for you. In my training video, how change really happens, the fun and easy way, I talked about the 5 important components of your personal environment and how they help you create transformation in a fun and easy way. Those 5 components are: number 1, your mindset; 2, your skill set; 3, your physical space; 4, your gifts; and 5, your support structures. So there are many ways to line up with the results that you want in a fun and powerful way, and to set yourself up for the success that you are really looking for. But what's under the feeling of being stuck or feeling like you're progressing more slowly than you'd like? What can you do if you're feeling that way? Let's look at what may be happening if you're feeling bogged down around an important project, a heartfelt goal, or a move that you really want to make. Almost always, when you're feeling stuck or stalled, there's some form of unresolved insecurity that's causing that experience. Let's look at this further, because insecurity often hides under common excuses and rationalizations, so we're not always aware of them. Insecurity is uncertainty about oneself, a decision, or a next step, and you might experience it as a lack of confidence or indecisiveness, procrastination, lack of movement, fear, or even anxiety. But just because these feelings currently exist, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong or scary lurking ahead on your path. These feelings are common when you move into new territory. Insecurity occurs because somewhere you may be, number 1, cultivating what could go wrong instead of what could go well. Or number 2, you're not recognizing yourself as powerful and capable. Or number 3, you're trying to figure it all out first, and then you're overwhelming yourself. Or number 4, you're in need of new skills or support structures, or you may need to recognize and use your gifts in a different way. Do you notice something interesting from this list? Everything is absolutely within your control. Here's a word of caution, though, because it's where people can get stuck, and sometimes for a long time. Don't let an excuse blind you to the truth. Here are some examples that I often hear from people when they first come to work with me and are struggling to make the progress that they really want. Listen to these with an open mind to see if you've ever heard yourself use any of them. Here's one. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Or now is not the right time. Or I'm too busy. Or I don't know or have the skills. I'm not good enough. Or I don't know enough. Or my spouse or friends don't support me or believe that I can. Or I don't have the money. It's too hard. Look how far along everyone else is. Here is a super liberating insight. These are not just excuses. If you use them, they become declarations and your reality. And using the excuse covers up the root cause. In other words, what's really creating the experience of being stuck. These are all mindset related. It's where everything starts. So let's look at what logically happens when we draw these types of conclusions about ourselves or the world in which we're creating, or these conclusions about our goals and desires. If we say it'll happen only if it's meant to be, then we are giving away our power to attract the life experiences that we really want, and telling ourselves we have no control over what we can have. And this is never really true. It may temporarily feel better to declare it'll happen if it's meant to be, but that conclusion may actually be covering up a fear. Only you can know what's really true for you. But if you're ever feeling stuck or not making the progress that you really want, it's worth looking deeper and with gentle honesty. Good questions help you expand your possibilities for different or new or more satisfying experiences. Conclusions and assumptions and declarations close your mind to new ideas and also create the feeling of being stuck when you actually want to experience something new. So let's look at some powerful questions to ask yourself if you ever hear yourself using any of these assumptions. If you hear yourself saying it'll happen only if it's meant to be, and you know it's something that you really want, consider these questions. Are you insecure about something? If so, what is it? Are you giving into that fear and waiting for something to change? Or is there something you could do to move beyond that? How else could you see your current conditions or goal? What perspective feels more empowering? Let's look at the next two. Not enough time and I'm too busy. I've used these myself in the past, but here's the thing. To get about these declarations, if we keep telling ourselves that it's not the right time or we're too busy, we'll believe that and live from that mindset. The result, we'll fill up our schedules with things that may not really matter as much as the heartfelt goal or the experience that we want, all because we've declared that we're too busy and it's not the right time. Again, what's really there? An excuse just keeps you from getting what you want. It keeps you from getting the solution. And you can't get the solution if you buy into an excuse. Why? Well, because by accepting that statement, you make it true for yourself. So instead of declaring that time isn't right or we're too busy, or we can instead ask a powerful question such as, what can I put into place or accept as true instead so I can move forward in a way that works for me? What do I really want to create here? Do you see how these questions, if followed, open up a powerful new possibility rather than a feeling of being stuck? Let's look at the next 3 common reasons that people often use that create not taking relevant action. I don't know how, or have the skills, or I'm not good enough, or my spouse or friends don't support or believe in me. Can you see what's created here if you accept any of these statements as true? You create being stuck because you're telling yourself that you can't have something because of that reason or declaration. But what's really true? Maybe there are some new skills required, and if so, you can identify them and move forward. Just a word of caution though, I've also seen a lot of people get stuck in getting ready and collecting more information as a way of avoiding what's really scaring or stopping them. Skills can be learned, but this is an area that people often use to hide. If you're stuck, check in to see what's really true for you. Are you using someone else's behavior or beliefs or getting ready to delay some specific action? If so, what action scares you or feels like a big leap? That's where you want to have a breakthrough. That's the breakthrough that will produce the results that you really want. So, what can you do to expand your confidence in that area? Can you start with a smaller step or see yourself as bigger and more powerful? So here's my quick plug. Naturally, I recommend my book, Just Believe: How Faith in Yourself Shifts Everything. It's an amazing resource for expanding belief in yourself and what's possible, and for upgrading your mindset. The key here is to see that these are excuses and disempowering declarations, so don't buy into any of them. They are not etched in stone facts. They are not. You have control over them and you can create something else. You get to choose, and you can choose what uplifts and empowers you. Let's look at the final 3 common reasons that people use that create the experience of stuck. I don't have the money, it's too hard, or look how far along everyone else is. Remember, these are declarations that create a feeling of being stuck. We take them into the future if we buy into them and keep cultivating them. What do you create if you tell yourself that you don't have enough money or something is too hard? You bring not enough money and it's too hard into your future. What do you create if you're comparing yourself to others and making yourself less than in some way? The answer is you create doubt and you create insecurity. You are creating that, and so it's only natural that you won't want to move forward from that perspective. Ask yourself, who could you be if you let go of that idea? What else could be possible that supports your heartfelt desire? Are you willing to believe that you can have that? If you're feeling stuck, don't buy into anything that disempowers you. Instead, cultivate something that moves, uplifts, and inspires you, rather than feeding insecurity, worry, or overwhelm. Feed yourself with nurturing self-talk, and you will move, guaranteed. If there's something you truly want, don't ever let an excuse stand in your way. Be willing to believe that you can have what you desire in a way that feels good to you, and not only will you move, but you will thrive as well. If you've discovered something powerful here, share this training video with others. And if you don't already subscribe to my weekly messages for more of life's magic and awesomeness, you can do that on this link here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.